talk about personal finance today. Okay, and let's begin. Okay, so you guys can check the contents. We have five main points, which are vocabulary bank at first, and then about banks, the power of interest, more about banking, and finally, how to make our money bigger, which is something that you guys may want to focus more. Yeah, okay, then let's begin. The first station is vocabulary bank. So let's learn some vocabulary in our finance courses. Let's go. So basically, these are the vocabularies that we will see in the future in this presentation. So can everyone repeat after me? Transactions. Okay, so
Transaction.
what does transaction means? Can anyone tell me? Alex, can you tell me?
To buy or sell or moving
Yeah,
money.
very, very good. Okay, so everyone, transaction is means to buy something, to sell something that makes money float. Okay, so the second part is interest and interest rates, which is also the topic that we will talk about deeply later. So we can skip this to vocabulary. Okay, and then the third one, debit. Debit is to the money taken from your account. So in the second courses, you will learn about credit card and debit card. And you guys can have a deeper information about that. And then the last one, deposit, is to put money into a bank account. And then withdraw is exactly different and opposite from deposit, right? So it's to take money out. And then you guys can check the vocabularies that you don't think that you really knows about them. And I think basically they're quite easy, so we can skip this part. Yeah, okay, then that's some have some vocabulary quiz. Can Lucy tell me what does withdraw mean?
To take out money from your bank account.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah, exactly. And can Eric tell me what does profit mean? Yeah, Eric? All right, maybe Eric is in some situation, so he's not really like okay to respond me. Okay, it's okay. Then can Nino tell me what does alone mean? Nino? Nino, Nino, Nino? Hello, hello? Am I out of the meeting? No. All right. Then also she's maybe into something. Okay, that's fine. Then let's continue. Okay, so the first part is about banks. So can anyone tell me what is a bank? Can anyone tell me? If no volunteers, I'll pick someone to answer my question.
It's a place where you put your money at or like to to borrow money from.
All right, that is exactly what a bank is. So, in this part, we will talk about more details about banks. Okay, very good, Alex. Thank you. So, how the bank run? How the bank run? It is very, very simple. It follows the rule, the red word. Can everybody say it together? The
The
1090
10
The 10
rule.
rule.
90 rule.
okay, very, very good. So the all banks basically follow the 1090 rule. And this is basically how all the bank work. Okay. And what does it mean? Okay, what does it mean? Can anyone guess? Just give me a guess. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does the 10 stand for and what does the 90 stand for? Howard, do you have any idea? Howard?
他可能没办法讲话嘛。
Oh,
Cause
okay. Then
yeah.
Nino, tell me. Give me a guess. Give me a guess. What does 10 and 90 mean?
Saving 90 or something and then 花掉10%.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's a good guess. Okay. Nino said that we can keep 90% and then spend out 10%. That's a good guess, but sorry, it's extremely opposite. So, what does a bank really do is that they put 10% of the money you deposit into their the real bank, okay? And then they put the 90% of the money into investments, or they put out loans for other people to make more profit, okay? And the next part we're going to talk about is bankrupt. So, um, bankrupt basically means when a bank gets into no money or their money goes into the number of negativity. So, give I'll give you an example. For example, if a amounts that a customer deposit inside the bank is $1,000, $1,000, and then the cash available inside the bank that they will keep inside their bank is $100. And then the money that they put out in loans and investments is $900. It follows the 1090 rule that we just mentioned in the beginning. All right. So uh who's that? Okay, it's okay. So basically it means that the bank separate your money into two different parts, which is 10% and 90%. And imagine if the bank only has $100 inside their bank, that it's totally just there without like putting out loans or make investments. But imagine if a customer is trying to withdraw $300. What number would the 100 become? Can anyone tell me? That's a math question. 100 minus 300 equals how much?
只有我的那个手机是 like 像那个 dinosaur is 只有我的是这样子吗？
What really? What's wrong? What's
Your
that?
microphone
My microphone.
your
What's wrong with my
microphone sounds like a
microphone?
dinosaur.
My sounds like a dinosaur. Is it better now?
Alex, help me.
I think it's the problem with you, Nino, because your mic is
Yeah, you sound like a
just
dinosaur. You're the one sounding like dinosaur.
Okay, wait. Okay, you guys continue.我退出我的 notes.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So let's continue doing the math question. 100 minus 300 equals how much?
negative
-200.
2.
Yeah, negative 200 exactly. So it becomes a bankrupt because the money the bank doesn't have enough money to pay out for the withdrawal. So this is how bank goes into bankrupt. Okay, and it is very simple, but I just make the number easy to understand. Okay, it could be 1,000, it could be 100 million, it could be a billion, it could be blah blah blah. Okay, the number could be bigger, but I just wanted to be clear, so I use 1,000 instead. Okay. Okay, so all right, and the next part is the power of interest. So in the third station, we will talk about what is interest. What is interest? Okay. Imagine, okay, there's a scene. Imagine you receive a 10% interest. You receive a 10% interest. Okay, remember the 10%. And in the first year, you put in $100 inside the bank, and then you will receive a 10% interest, which gives you another extra $10. And for the next year, you will have $110, right? You have $110. And then what do you think you will get in the third year? Remember, our interest is always 10%. 10%. Can anyone give a guess? How much will you receive in the next year? Any idea?
121.
121. Okay, that is a very good guess. Can you tell me how does the number come from? Like, why is it 121?
110 and times 1.1.
Yeah, oh yeah, that is really good. Okay. So Eric's idea is to use 110 times 1.1, which is one extra 10%, right? But unfortunately, it is not because it's simple interest. So look, it will receive another $10. Why? Can anyone tell me why? Lucy, can you tell me why?
Because it doesn't count in your interest from last year.
Yes, exactly. So your money keeps on growing, okay? Remember, your money keeps on growing, but it won't sum up the amounts that you receive from the bank. It won't count, okay? The interest that the bank gives you won't count as your money, okay? It counts the money that the bank give you, but the interest keeps on going by the original amounts that that you deposit inside the bank. Okay, so after 2 years, you will receive a $120. Okay, $120, and this is simple interest. And if we turn it into compound interest, it sounds like a hard word, isn't it? But I will use some pictures to make it easy for you to understand. So in the first year, you also put in $100. And remember, you have a how many percent interest?
10.
10%.
10%. Yes, exactly. Okay. So what will you receive? How much? How much? Probably 10, right? So in the second year, you receive a 110, which is same as simple interest. Okay. But when it comes to the second year, you will also begin with 110. But how much will you receive this time? How much? Give me a guess. Remember, the interest is 10%. Do you think it will still be $120? Of course not, because the name is not the same. It's obvious, right? One is simple, one is compound, even though you don't understand these two words, but it is different. So it is not going to be 120, obviously, right? So in compound interest, it counts in the money that the bank give you, which is the interest that the bank give you. So what number should you use to time by 1.1? Is it 100 or 110?
110.
Exactly. So the number will comes out to the number that Eric gave me in the previous question, which is 121. Okay. So compared to the two difference, in compound interest, you will receive a $1 more. You will receive a $1 more. But I know some of you guys may think it's just $1, okay? Even though it's in the US dollar, it's also only $30. I don't care. But imagine if it is 100 million. If you put in 100 million inside, then you will receive an extra 1 million interest. Does it affect a lot right now? Yes, it is. It does. Okay, it does affect a lot because the amount is changing, right? Okay, so this is the power of interest. So here is a chart for you to understand which one do you think is simple interest and which one do you think is compound interest. Eric, what do you think?
The blue one is simple and the yellow one is compound.
Yes, very good. So why? Can you tell me why?
Because when because the compound interest makes you more money every year.
Uh-huh.
Like yeah, because
All right,
simple
so
interest.
you can
Oh,
see the amount is all getting higher, but the blue one is in a straight line, right? So that means it is adding up the same every year, which is when we go to the example, it says $10 more, $10 more, $10 more, $10 more, $10 more, right? But when it comes to compound interest, is it the same? No, right? It comes to $10, $11, and then all the way up. So it becomes like this line, which is much higher than the blue one. Okay. Okay, then the next part we're going to talk about is interest rates. And then we will compare APR with APY. Okay. So APR, can everyone read it together? What does APR stand for?
Annual percentage rate.
percentage
Yes,
rate.
annual percentage rates. Okay. Is everyone a little sleepy? A little sleepy? It's only 10 o'clock. Okay, everyone, wakey wakey, wake up. So, APR, annual percentage rates, is about the red word over here, a very very big red word. Can anyone tell me, Alex?
Yes, simple interest.
Simple interest. So when it comes to APR, you have to think about simple interest. Okay, when it comes to simple interest, you have to think about APR. Okay, again, if it comes to APR, you have to think about,
Simple
Simple interest.
yep, if when it comes to simple interest, you have to think about,
APR.
yeah, okay. So APR is simple interest and simple interest is APR. They are based on the same logic, okay? They are basic of the same logic. So you just put them inside a equal mark, okay? They are equal. So here's an example. If you have a 10% APR, if you have a 10% APR, you borrow $100. You borrow $100 from the bank, and then your APR is a 10%. Then after 1 year, you have to pay a 10% extra interest, which is the money that you have to give extra to the bank. So in total, you have to give payback how much? 100 plus 10 is $110. So in APR, when it's APR, it's 10%. Then you have to give an extra 10% every year, and then every year is 10% based on the money that you borrow in the original number. It won't grow. It won't grow like the first year 10% and the second year 50%. No, it won't. Every year is 10%, and then the 10% you have to times with the original number that you put in first. Okay, this is APR. And then APY. Okay, can someone read out what does APY stand for? It's basically just over here.
annual percentage yield.
Annual
Annual
percentage
percentage.
yield.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. So when it comes to APY, you have to think about compound interest. When it comes to compound interest, you have to think about APY. Okay, so when it comes to APY, you have to think about,
Compound interest.
when it
Compound
comes
interest.
to compound interest, you have to talk about,
APY.
APY.
exactly. Okay, so the same scene, okay, the same scene. When your AP, sorry, it is wrong over here. It should be APY, not APR. Okay. When your APY is a 10%, when your APY is a 10%, and your interest is added every month, okay? Imagine your interest is added every month. like the compound interest. Okay, the compound interest, it adds up every single periods. Okay, so your APY becomes about 10.47 because you earn interest on your interest. Do you understand what it means? You earn interest based on your interest. But in APR, you earn interest based on the money that you put in. But in APY, you earn money based on the original amount and the interest that the bank gives you. Okay, so that's why I put compound interest and simple interest over here because they're basically the same. Okay, so here is a chart for you to figure out what is the differences between these two. Okay, so for example, compound interest is about APY and simple interest is about APR. Okay, so this is the first very important thing. And another thing, I have a question.
What question?
I have a question. Yeah, okay. So here, do you think you want to pay more interest to others when you borrow money from them? Do you want to?
No.
No.
No, right? Never. You don't want to pay more. You want to pay the same amount every year, every month, okay? So, APR is actually normally for loans. So, when you borrow money from the bank, you pay APR instead of APY. Because if the bank use APY for you, you have infinite money to pay back because it grows every month. If you don't finish paying 1 month, it will keep on growing, and then it becomes a very, very big amount. Okay. So APR is lower money compared to the other one. Okay. And okay, imagine if you want to make money when you're working, when you're graduating from the university and you get your first job, do you want to make more money or you want to make less money?
More.
More, right? Okay, of course more. So after you receive your salary and then you put it inside a bank, you put it inside a bank in your savings account. You want to get more. So the bank wants you to put in more because they need your money to invest to make money, right? Is it? They need your money to make more money. So they use APY to attract you to put in the money. Okay? So that means after a year, maybe you put in $1,000. And then after a year they give you a 10% interest, which is how much? 110, right? They get you, your money becomes into 110, 1,100, right? 1,100. Okay, your money becomes into 1,100, and then in the third year, in the third year, and then in the third year, okay, in the third year, you will use the 1,100 times by 10%, which goes into a bigger amount compared to APR, right? So this is why we say in savings account and investments that we use APR more than APY more than APR because they want your money to put inside their company or they want you to put in more money for them to invest more or to put out more loans. Okay, so this is why that APR, the number is always bigger than APY is always bigger than APR. Okay. Okay. Okay, so that the next one is talk about banking. Okay, more about banking. Okay. We have four kinds of common accounts, okay? More common accounts. But HYSA is not really common in Taiwan, so we will not talk too deeply about that. Okay, savings account, it's very normal. Everyone knows that you put in your money and then what? And then you have to have a limited withdrawals, right? and they will give you a little bit interest, a little bit interest, a little bit interest. In Chinese, we call 定存. We call 定存. Okay. And for checking accounts, it is for daily payments. So you put your money in, and when you have to pay for credit card, when you have to pay for your checks, blah, 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 you will use your checking accounts, which is literally no interest because your money is not always inside the bank. So they cannot follow the 1090 rule. They cannot use your money anytime, right? So they give you almost zero interest. Okay. This is for daily payments. And then for HYSA, it is a very, very good account for you to put in. They give you high interest, and then you can move your money freely. You don't have a limited withdrawal, so it is a much better. Okay, but you have to put in a lot of money inside that account, okay, to register one. And then money market account is you don't have a very, very low rates, but it's not as high as HYSA. Okay, it is just medium. And then um you you will have a minimum balance. Okay, so this is not really common, but the most common accounts in Taiwan that you will see is the saving and the checking account. It checking account is close to 活存 in Chinese. Okay, 活存, close but not exactly the same. Okay, so a lot of people ask me, how do banks make money? Like they're just bank. Come on, they're just bank. We put money in, and then so how do they make money? By governments? Oh no, probably not. When after this class, you will understand how bank really makes money. Okay, so if you put in, if you put in, if you put in $1 million inside your savings account. Scott puts in 1 million inside his savings account and he received a 1.7 interest, which gives him a $17,000 interest, which is quite a lot, right? Which is quite a lot. Okay. And the bank used Scott's 1 million into loans and investments, which they use 90% of it because it follows the 1090 rules, right? So with the amount that they use is $900,000. And for the information that we can get on the web, it is the profit that the bank could make. Even like the minimum number is about $20,000. And then the average amount is around $90,000. So it is a very, very simple math, okay? Can you guys tell me, is this number bigger or is this number bigger? I mean by amounts, not by the words of the size of the words, okay? Which one is bigger? The first one or the second one? The first one or the second one?
Second one.
The second one, right? Obviously, right? Even though it is like 21,000, they still make how much? They still make $4,000, right? The banks still make $4,000 even though that they make the minimum amount of money by investments and loans, right? Okay, so this is how bank make money. Okay, this is how bank make money. They use a small amount of interest to make you put inside your money, and then when they get a 7% of profit from your money for investment or loans, they earn a 6%. So this is how bank actually makes money. Okay? Okay, let's continue. And then there is a association called CDIC, and it stands for Central Deposit Insurance Corporation. So imagine if you put in a bunch of money inside one bank and then suddenly the bank go bankrupt. Okay? They're out of money. They're out of money to pay out. Then the CDIC will take over the bank and then make sure that all the money that you deposit inside is protected so that you won't lose all your money. Okay, understand? So this is why we need CDIC. And it is a governmental association to protect the citizens' citizens found and their money. Okay. Then I have a question.
What question?
What question?
So, how to make our money bigger? Does anyone have an idea? How do we make our money bigger?
Invest in stocks.
Okay, good.
Work
Invest in
harder.
stocks. And then what?
Work hard.
Work hard. Okay. That is good. What? Any else?
Put it in a bank.
Put it in the bank. Okay. One more. I need one more. Quick. One more.
To save money, don't spend too much.
Uh, save money instead of spending out money. Oh, okay. That is a very good idea. But you know what? My presentation ends here. I don't have a next page of like in the courses. So all the above the answer that you gave me are correct. Okay. Work hard, save instead of spending, invest and put it in the bank. These are all perfect answer. Okay. They can all make money bigger. Okay. But let's say invest, you may lose a lot of money if you don't have a if you don't put it in the right place. Okay. So we still have risk. Okay. The thing that I want to tell you guys is after this class, put yourself's position into the bank. Into the bank. I want to see you guys put in your salary into you, and then you use another way to create more profit. Okay? This is actually how bank work, and also how you work to make your money becomes bigger and bigger. Okay, this is actually the basic skills for you to learn. Just learn from your daily life, learn from the bank. You can also play, you can also put it in the stock market. You can also um, put it in a fund, or you can put it into other businesses, whatever. Just invest. Or also, you can also do what? You can also put it in a savings account, right? You can put it in a high interest saving accounts. But what is the consequence? You cannot do a lot of withdrawal. You have limited withdrawal, right? So there is so many ways to make your money bigger. But what is your position like? You're like a bank, okay? When the salary comes in, you use other ways to promote more and more and more and more profit, but always follow compound interest. You want your money to grow, but you want to make it grow faster instead of slowly. Okay? You want to make your money bigger and bigger over a year. Okay? You want to make it much bigger. You want to make it like this. You want to make it like this, the orange line, okay? You want to make it like this. You don't want to go so slowly, okay? You want to make it so slowly. So, this is how you can make your money bigger. And at the final of the class, I want to ask you guys a question. If you guys suddenly receive $100 million, how will you spend your money?
Gamble.
Gamble! Great. You lose all your money in a sudden. Go to Las Vegas and then lose all your money. Have fun. Okay, so this can be a small question that you can think about after this class, okay? And we can ask about your opinion in the next courses or in the final of the semester, okay? You guys can think of that and make a good plan of it. And then we can share with your classmates, your teachers, and your tutors, okay, together. All right, so if we have time, we can play some Kahoot. Okay, we can play some Kahoot over here. I put in the link over here. This one.
You mean like right now?
No, not right now. Okay,
Okay.
so at the very final, I would like you guys to scan this code and then rate the courses, the presentations, the tutors, and everything about today. Okay, you guys don't have to scan. Okay, just pretending that I'm having a class. So thank you guys for your time today, and it's really fun to talk with you guys. And I hope you guys have learned something after this class. And looking forward to see you next time. Bye bye. Like that. Okay. So, how long did I spend speaking, Howard?